Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is my Field 53 series, episode 8, I, 8 or 9. I think it's 8. Checking the title. I should have it right there. Anyway, as you can see, we're mulching the grapevines. It's November now. I skipped a couple of months, just doing watering, and I believe I delivered another 14,000 liters of cabbage over to the farmer's market for like $8,000 or something. So no big difference to what we've been doing. Also, if you look into the field to the right, you can see some big white marshmallows. I did mow and bale grass and then wrap it, and it's fermenting into silage in the field. So that is happening as well. That will be the last cut of this year, and we'll grab those here in another month or two once they're done fermenting, and we'll probably cut the grass again in the spring once it is time to do that. But I've got 4 more trellises to do of this mulching, and I just wanted to show this off. I think I showed this the first time that I did it, but I can't remember. So I just wanted to show it again, but it is kind of repetitive, so I waited till I was halfway through the grape trellises to do it. It takes a little while to get lined up, and you have to lift it and then lower it, but once it latches on, it usually does pretty good at keeping it straight, and it is much better in the cab view. I think it's easier to line up this way than it is from outside. Um, but to each his own as you kind of prepare to do this. So I'm kind of excited about this episode. We're gonna we're gonna transform the farmyard a little bit once we're done mulching here. We're gonna go pick up an implement from the store that we're gonna lease. That's gonna allow us to create some fields. We've got some wasted space that I want to make better use of. So we're going to go outline a couple of new grass fields on the right-hand side of our field 53 using a subsoiler. And then we're also going to put some paths in between the trees on the right with some painting, painting on some gravel or whatever we want to do to kind of organize what we're going to do with the rest of the lot. Because although we're making good use of some of the space, with our little production area over there and the field that we split here for grapes and for grass. We have all the implements to make more silage than we are, so I wanted to get it set up so that that's something we can do in the future, is make better use of some of the spaces that we're not using. And also I wanted to kind of define where the trees are and where the trees aren't. Um, I guess is a better way to put that, by putting some paths in, um, and just kind of really solidifying what the rest of Field 53 is going to look like for a while. Um, as it looks, we have $54,000 roughly in our account from the last round of selling and some cabbage that I sold between episodes. Um, and so again, we're doing a lot of little things, but we're doing them well. Like we've got grapes fermenting that will eventually turn into raisins. We've got the preserved food factory making some kimchi, where the greenhouses are producing tons of cabbage, which we're transporting every month or every other month, which we'll go over and look at it as well. We've got some wood processing in the sawmills, and some furniture being made in the carpentry. So we've got like a lot of little projects going on, and we've got this relatively little grass field that we keep getting 13 or 14 bales of silage on. I think we got 13 this time and 14 last time. So all of those are money makers, but they're little money makers, which is fine. This is kind of a hobby farm, is I think the best definition for it. Um, and I thought about expanding, like, since we mowed the lawn here. Um, Once we get those bales off, we could, like, we have the money now. We could add another couple of rows of grape trellises if we wanted to expand the grape productions, given that that's like the one crop we're doing, and we have a specialty harvester for it. We have this special mulcher we're using to clean the trellises. We have a grape processing unit we have the special grape tipper for driving around the grapes and loading those in. So we've got a lot of the equipment that grapes is kind of the crop that we're set up to do. But honestly, this is plenty. Like looking at these trellises here, I don't really want to expand this part of the farm. This mulching them here in November is fine to do once a year, but I'm already kind of sick of it. And you know, we only had, I think we have 10 rows. You know, I brought you guys in on row 6. You're probably bored of it too. It's fine, but driving 6 miles an hour and mulching this, I wouldn't want, you know, 40 rows of grapes to do this to every year. Um, the harvesting is kind of the same. It's fine and it works, and I'm glad we got our discount harvester. I say discount, our used harvester, because it would have been really expensive to buy a new one to do that. So I mean, all of that is great, but at the same time, I don't know that I would say that this is a crop that I enjoy a ton of. And like we have the one grape processing unit, which is full. If we did get like, it's full, and we have another 5,000 grapes in our tipper. So once it's done processing enough, we're going to be able to dump more grapes in. Yes, it doesn't run all year round, but it runs a lot of the year. And this is the first harvest we did this year that it was 100% fertilized. So I don't know, maybe it will run all year this year. In fact, we should take a look at that here in a second. In fact, we don't have to do it in a second. We can do it right now. Grape processing. Yeah, so we had 10,500 in 2 months. We've processed 2,000 liters. Or wait, 1 month. I think 2 months. I think it's been 2 months since we harvested. So it's about 1,000 a month. So with 15,000 liters total, it's going to take over a year to process all this. 336 of raisins. We must have a pallet that spawned. I'd have to go look. We'll zip over there here in a minute. But it's a good crop, and I'm glad we're doing it, and it's definitely different than what I've done on my other playthroughs, but I just can't say it's the most enjoyable harvest because you can't scale it the same. The grape trellises are really expensive to put in. And then it's just a lot of going up and down the rows like this. Like the tractor doesn't quite fit. This mulcher's a little bit finicky. I don't know. The whole thing, it works, but I don't know that it's my favorite. So I don't want to really cover this whole grass field with more trellises. We could certainly try it. I'm going to get out of cab view now. Sorry, it's louder. Let me back off a little bit. So I had thought, you know, well, if I don't want to expand this part, what do I want to expand on this farm? And yeah, look, there is in fact 1 pallet of raisins. So in 2 months, we've made 1 pallet of raisins. We're going to make another one here pretty soon. We'll sell them when we sell the kimchi next time. In fact, I think we have some kimchi. Yep, we have 2 pallets of kimchi sitting over here. So, I mean, things are humming along. Looks like we have plenty of cabbage again. Oh, it looks like we got some long planks since we're over here. Or some beams. Are these beams? Wood beams? Yeah, wood beams. So these 2 are going well. I put another tree in, I think. Furniture's still going, but I think that's not what I wanted to expand. I basically is what it come down. When I thought about it, I don't want to do 3 times as many grapes. I'm just not really that interested in doing that. Maybe some people are. It's just it has not been my favorite crop to do. I'm not saying that it wasn't worth doing, and I'm enjoying kind of trying the different things that come with it. But if we're like, so we need to expand something else. I don't want more greenhouses. We certainly don't need more cabbage. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's this way. So we're going to run down to the store. We're going to grab that subsoiler. We're actually going to go this way so we can stop at the gas station and gas up the tractor, because we haven't done that this year, and it's down to about a third of a tank, maybe even a quarter, probably a third. But feels like it's about the right time to get some gas in the tractor as well. And we're going to just establish a couple more fields that eventually we will plant with grass. I don't know that I'm going to plant them with grass today, because I don't think you do that in November. I think you do that in the spring. Plus, we don't have a planter. So I'm just going to kind of give that a little bit of time. I thought this was the gas station, but it's a lime station. Oh, gas is the next one up. Huh. Okay. And there is a little road here, so we'll just zip down this little road out to the main highway, which I haven't been over here in a while. So we're going to make some more fields so that we're using better use of field 53, or using more of field 53, I should say, because if you look at on the map, we own 53, and then we own all this stuff. So let me just go to farmland. So look, we own all the way over here, but we're only using, here's all of our productions, here's where all of our grape stuff is, or sorry, grape and grass, and then here's all of our storage buildings, but we have all this stuff over here that's part of our lot that we're not using. And that's what got me to thinking, well, maybe we can make better use. And oops, should have probably merged better there. I don't think this is the road. I think it's this next one. Cross the bridge. Pedestrian. Sorry, looking at my mini map. This is the one. And lumber, we can expand with more with more sawmills, which is one thought I had. And we may very well do that soon, because we have all those trees. But that's kind of why I wanted to paint some kind of walkways in between the tree lines to kind of figure out what we're looking at. So I'm going to go down here. This Kuhn here is a subsoiler that also lets you plow, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and lease that for like $500, because we don't need it very often. And we're going to outline the fields, and also, is this the side you hook it up to? I think, no, it looks like it's the other side. Nope, that worked. Okay. Because the idea behind putting the lines between the trees, in fact, we might do that first. Is this our... Yeah. This is the path that heads down to our field. The idea behind putting the lines between the trees is that if you look at, like, I don't know if you've ever been to a tree farm. We have those here in Nebraska. The tree farms have paths that people can walk up and down and look at the trees, or they have specific paths that kind of designate where the equipment goes, so that the ground doesn't get tore up and muddy in between everything. And I thought, well, like, we have the way that they got spaced out, you can see there's like a clear path there. Yeah, there's like a clear path here. Let me get it. It's easier to see in the construction menu. But there's clearly some paths that are established between the trees. And I thought, why don't we just paint those in and kind of make it clear where the lines are? Because one of the things you can see, like, so here's 2 stumps, there's a stump, here's a stump, here's another 3 or 4 stumps. Eventually, I'm going to have to come back in here with a stump grinder, because I can't place any buildings on the areas that have the stumps. So we're going to want to fix that at some point in time. Is this the one? I think this one is as wide as the truck. Maybe it is this one. So this costs money, but also this will help get rid of some of those bushes. So just basically something kind of like this. I don't want to go too fast and risk messing up my line. But kind of that there's a clear pathway that you could walk through if you were trying to get to or take a look at some of these trees. So I just think that this will kind of help clear up the distinction of where our tree farm is. And kind of, we probably should have done this before, but just gives you an idea of like where the lines are and also where the stumps are going to be, because it's kind of hard to find the stumps when they're just out there. When you're driving around from this top down view, it's easy, but when you're walking, it's kind of hard. So this will help me when we've got most of the trees cut down, but we're just trying to get rid of those stumps so we can either replant trees or do something different. Because I thought, you know, we do have the tree planter still. It's a piece of equipment that we did buy at the very beginning. Like, we could theoretically focus on cutting down one row and then rent a stump grinder or buy a stump grinder, because we're obviously going to have lots of stumps to do. We're going to have to get rid of that little tree that's in the middle of the road. And then replant some of these rows too, so that they can start growing again, if this really is a tree farm, which is kind of what we've set it up to be. It's a little weird with the edge here. I spent like, what, $4,000 doing this so far? Maybe we just tuck those together. And then, did we get all the rows? No, there's definitely some down here with the greenhouses. Although these are the last couple of rows I'm going to do. I think these are the trees that are going to stay the longest, so maybe we'll just start with this. And then I was thinking some sort of path that would connect all of these. Something kind of like... so that it just looks like it's all organized and better laid out. I don't know, let's see what that looks like. So, yeah, so here's the stumps. You can see them when you're looking for them. We can kind of leave this open for now. But some of these stumps, like over here, like this one, you don't see until you're practically walking over it. Same with like this one. Kind of hard to see. So these paths, I think, kind of just help clear up and make it look more like a tree farm. I don't know if it was worth the $4,000 I spent painting the ground, but I think having this little path system and kind of set up also kind of structures and breaks up. So here's the tree area, here's the production area. If we expand the productions, part of my thought was, if we don't want to replant the trees, we can start putting the little mini productions in these grass areas between the paths after we take out the stump. So let's say we take out the rest of this row, since we've already done these two, then we can start putting sawmills in where the trees were, is kind of the thought process. And just giving us a little bit more of an established route to do that. So anyway, that's the idea with the paths. I was excited to kind of get that done, but I wanted to wait for you guys to do it on the video here. And then as I'm looking, like, this is the top of our lot almost. So somewhere up here, and then heading straight east. So 90 degrees on our little mini map. So let's go activate. detach, mode, lower cultivator. Can you not create fields with this? I was sure that you could create fields with this. Well, the idea was going to be that we would be able to create a field. So I guess I will just do it with, I'll just show you, and then we'll return this leased subsoiler, and I will find one that can create fields. The idea is we're going to take this area up here, basically where I'm driving right now, all the way over to where our land ends, because I believe here we're still well in our land. The river is actually ours too. But we'll come over to here, and then we'll make a grass field that kind of squares off here and then turns wherever the corner of this path was, and then comes back over here and connects up, and then squares itself up back up here to the top. So I will hopefully have that dug out for you between now and next episode, but I thought this subsoiler was going to work, but it doesn't appear to allow you to create fields, so that's dumb. But it is what it is. And then lastly, we were going to maybe, depending on how all of that went, and for time allowed, I was going to maybe do another like tiny third field over here in this like triangle between here and the river. So here all the way over to here, and kind of on this side of the trees too, because we're just not using this space for much. But I don't know that I want to put a grass field over here. I haven't really decided on that yet, so we'll wait and see if I actually follow through with that one. The big idea was to use the top corner of the field after we had established where the tree farm was going to be a little bit better. And then I'd like to maybe take out those couple of trees right there that are encroaching on this part of the path, but that's neither here nor there. We'll get there. Anyway, so that's the idea, guys. I guess it's going to be a little bit shorter of an episode because I don't have the right equipment, and I'm not going to make you watch me return this and wrestle with that and do all the things. But the idea is hopefully next episode you'll see there will be a field up here too, so we have a second grass field, and we'll plant it in the spring, but we're going to plow it out now or over the winter, and we'll just keep these productions humming along. And I think I like the idea of cutting down a row and then putting sawmills in where the row was. So whether it's that one or maybe this one, this is you know, I think the productions would be nice gridded out in here like so. So obviously we're going to need more sawmills eventually, so we'll kind of start converting the trees into sawmills at some point. But I don't know. Let me know what you think about that, if you've got a different idea or you think there's something else you do. But I kind of like this idea of graveling out the paths and getting everything sort of gridded in and just making better use of our whole property rather than just using the parts that we have been. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.